On this episode, I talked to one of my good friends, fraternity brothers, and the biggest failure I know. His name is Alex, and don't tell him he can't do something. Alex has no fear when it comes to trying things to improve his life, and for most of us, we won't change something about our morning routine in fear we're going to mess something up. You must take calculated risk, and sometimes you will fail. And sometimes you'll join a fraternity at 18 years old, so I asked his pledge brother Jody to sit in and discuss the risk-reward of trusting him to pledge together. We also talk about before online services like Bumble, Tinder, and Match, there was Alex calling you on the phone. Let's jump in.
Welcome to a Moderately Good podcast. Glad you're showing back up again. I mean, sometimes it's hard to believe that people keep showing up, but I truly appreciate it. And if you love what I do, please subscribe on YouTube or go to Spotify or Apple Podcasts and you subscribe on there. It really doesn't affect you at all, but it helps me out tremendously, and I'd greatly appreciate it. Before we get started with my guest, my guy, Joe Andrade Media, he does all my media stuff. You've seen it. Just check it out. My guy, Jason, he's under Wish Pocket. He does all my audio for the podcast, and he is more than welcome to do the audio for your band. My guy, Jaron, he has No Names Originals, and I just will be happening to wear one of the shirts that he customized for me. So it's one of my shirts, and he did some of his custom like dyeing and bleaching. So thank you, Jaron. And you can find him No Names Originals on Instagram. And then last but not least, the Go Bubble app. That's my guy, Mo. If you put in the promo code Go Moderately, you get a percentage off. Look it up. I don't know. So I've mentioned this before, but one of the great things about paying for your friends is that you can blackmail them into doing your podcast like years later. So everybody say hi to my guy, Alex. Alex, what's up?
What's going on?
What's going on? So before we get started, really just kind of like a little bit like, if you have any socials you want to throw out, you're more than welcome to. Or if you just want to kind of like talk about really quick, like you and what you do, kind of that you're a dad and all that stuff, just give us your quick background.
Quick background. My name is Alex Hinojosa. Right now I am with Farmers Insurance. Had a little bit of a journey with them. That's been good. Father of 3 beautiful little girls, Avery, Mila, and Penelope. Married for almost 10 years. Just born and raised in Corpus Christi, so been there my entire life other than my stint over at Southwest in Austin for a little bit. But that's what I do. Have opened 4 or 5 businesses and failed miserably, and I'd like to say tried to succeed a little bit, but that's my life.
So were all those businesses restaurants, or did you do different stuff?
No, well, 3 of them were restaurants, okay. And then the last 2 with farmers.
Okay. In one, before we even get started, the restaurant business is incredibly hard, correct?
Unbelievably difficult.
Okay, so when you left Southwest, is that what you did next?
When I left Southwest, I moved to Austin. Had a roommate we're familiar with, maybe one of your guests, Mr. Jody Allen.
And my brother, right?
Yeah, and your brother, exactly. Yeah. Many skerfuffles, plenty of broken walls in Jody's house. We had a good time over there. So lived in Austin during the 2000 .com crash, so it was difficult. My first job out of college, because no one was hiring. My first job out of college, and I tell everybody, was a dating service. It's a great day together. How can I help you? At a dating service. I was selling dating service packages.
Okay. So do you remember kind of the packages?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So can we go through them real quick?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
So what's my bottom tier package and what's it called?
Oh, I couldn't tell you.
Okay, we'll just call it the bronze. What was bronze level?
The bronze, all of them were based on how many dates we can get for you, a busy professional in Austin, Texas. How many dates we were going to put you on per month?
Okay, so what's my bottom tier? How many dates do I get?
I think it was about 6 dates a month.
For how much?
It was probably about $1,000 if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then what's my next tier roughly?
Probably 12 dates, closer to 2,000. That top end was almost unlimited, and I remember $3,600.
What did you
professionals?
What'd you sell the most of?
Middle.
Really?
Middle. Yeah. Yeah. My boss.
You can't go on 12 dates in a month, can you?
No, well, lunches, breakfast.
That's half the fucking month, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. And it might have been longer than a month. It could have been the 6-month program, whatever. But it was small, medium, and large packages. And my boss was a salesman. He would keep you in that room and put you in a headlock till you bought. That's what I thought that's what I thought sales was. Like, it was kind of weird, man. I didn't last there very long, but that was my first.
Was he he's really aggressive?
Really aggressive, can talk to anyone, but he was going to talk to you until he closed, until you bought a package. So that was my first foray into sales. So I was very intimidated by sales after that. So I didn't do I'm never doing that again.
Well, you also picked one of the most incredibly hard things to sell.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, no, not really.
Well, no. Think about it like this. So I'm a personal trainer, right? And when you come and buy something from me, what are you buying? Like, what do I give you when you buy? When you give me money, what do I give you in return?
You give me a great looking body.
Maybe. But it's
no, you better. That's what I'm buying.
Right, that's what you're buying. But you're buying a hope and a dream.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're buying something that's not tangible.
Yeah.
And what you were selling was not tangible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so,
but for busy professionals, no, hey, we're gonna meet. This is what you're gonna do. For busy professionals, that's what I sold. My best sales were the busiest professionals.
The busiest.
$3,600.
And would you argue that the reason probably why they weren't good at dating is because they were busy professionals?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It makes sense, doesn't it?
You don't have any time.
No,
you don't want to go to a bar and get hit on by some loser. No, let me find you somebody.
Do you have any idea of the success rate? Do you have any idea how? No, you didn't know anything past the sale.
I didn't know anything past the sale. I know we had whenever it was an ad in the newspaper. And I couldn't find a job, so I kept calling. And man, the girl that would answer the phone, she sounded like a goddess. She hey, yeah, goddess. So I go in my interview, hey, I could have been a guy, just not what the voice said. And they were the ones. There was a little team of a couple of ladies in the back, matching profile pages before anything, matching documents. Oh yeah, 35-year-old, 42-year-old, likes outdoors. Matt, that's a date. Super manual. None of these apps, no algorithm, no artificial intelligence. Someone's in the front making the calls, someone's in the back tying them together, and we're in the front offices selling the packages. It was crazy.
I would argue that probably a lot of times why those dates maybe didn't work is because someone would go I'm into outdoors because they thought they should be into outdoors to get dates.
Yeah.
And then they weren't into outdoors and they go on a date outdoors and they're like, man, fuck this shit.
But, how do you know? How do you really
don't know?
And the funny thing is, 10 years ago, my wife and I met on Match.com. So just random, crazy.
Really?
Yeah, we met.
Okay, so, this is 10 years ago. So it's kind of different now because there's all the other dating. Match.com is something people used to do, or maybe just people, I don't know, feel like maybe it's more secure because there's dating. Anyways,
yeah.
Point being is, what was your experience with Match.com? Did you have a lot of dates before your wife, before you went on a date with her?
I had a couple of dates before.
What was your experience with it?
It was random. I was so busy working in the restaurant all day, every day. So I was a busy professional, oddly enough. So I would go on a date, no connection, no spark. Like, man, when can I leave this thing? So it was, how do you know? I don't know. There can't be an algorithm. Maybe they perfected it, but there can't be an algorithm. It wasn't a high success rate, but it was, being from a small town, Corpus Christi. I had a couple of friends. She had a couple of friends that meant to introduce someone to me, meant to introduce someone to her. So when we met on Match, like, yeah, that's the guy I was going to introduce you to.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, crazy. So that was probably 2 or 3 of our kind of mutual friends and acquaintances that were trying to introduce us, and it just never worked. And then we met. She winked. I said, hey, how's it going? Her last day, she was canceling her membership. She winked. I said, all right, hey, wink, wink. Let's go.
Okay, so she's canceling her membership. Like, did she extend it, or did she like go, hey, this is my phone number? I just wanted to know.
Man, I don't know if she.
Can you imagine like finding your true love on the last day of your membership? You know,
I
and
think
you're just
that's
like,
a movie.
You're like, fuck.
Serendipity. I got to go find the book with the note in it. Yeah, that's a movie. That's basically what it was. So
you're like calling up your like your IT dev buddies, and you're like, hey, I need you to hack Match.com. This girl had a canceled account. I have to find her.
Yeah, that's basically how it went.
Yeah.
So it was,
All right, so failed business number 2 was what?
Failed business.
I guess it wouldn't have failed.
Well,
your
no.
second job was
my second job. I worked down here in Austin at Compass Bank in Lakeway, beautiful Lakeway. Did that for a while. Watched.
Did you work there when Brandon worked there?
I don't know. It was 2001.
Oh man, I can't remember.
I don't think we worked there at the same time.
Well, he worked for Compass, but not at that branch. I thought maybe y'all worked there at the same time. Anyways,
no, I don't think
total
so.
side work. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I was there. Remember 9/11 happening, as I was driving into work. Beautiful. I happened to be in Lakeway this weekend, yesterday. Man, has it changed in 20 years.
Crazy, right?
Crazy.
Like it's a different place.
It doesn't, I don't know anything. I don't know anything.
Yeah.
There's no frame of reference for me at all from 20 years ago.
Hey, you know the one thing they ain't making any more of?
Land.
That's right.
Exactly. Land.
So it's a hot commodity.
Yeah.
I don't know what y'all think, but
and there's no more land over there. There's stuff popping up everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I worked there for about 1.5 years, and I didn't like the corporate world. Maybe I always wanted to do my own thing. I didn't like the changes. I didn't like being told what to do. It's like, man, I gotta go. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I have no idea what I'm gonna do, but I don't like being an employee. So moved back to Corpus Christi. Had a couple of odd-end jobs.
How did you go about getting that first restaurant?
I was in Corpus. I couldn't find anything that I loved. A couple odd-end, loan servicing,
another sales job,
another sales things. Get out of college, like, what do you do? Like, now what? No one's offering me $100,000. What now? What?
Right? Because
that's what I think. Like, oh yeah, I get out of college, make a lot of money. No one's doing that. My brother was a broker with Charles Schwab. My sister was still in college. My mom and dad put us through college by renovating houses. So there was a tiny little taco stand in beautiful Odom, Texas, my hometown. And that they hadn't been open in quite a few years. And one of the owners of the building said, hey, we want to sell it. You guys want to buy the business, little taco stand. So my mom immediately says, let me talk to the boys, my brother and I, who were hungry to do something. And I said, yeah, that'd be cool. We can sell some tacos. Everyone sells tacos.
At that point, you worked in a restaurant?
No. I mean, I waited tables in college.
And that's it?
That's it.
Okay.
So waited tables in college, that was the extent. But I mean, how hard could it be? Everyone opens a restaurant, right? You cook something, it's good.
Makes people just show up.
And people show up.
I mean, you cook it and they will come.
There is a low bar to entry in the restaurant business. I think that's what makes it so difficult. For a lot of business, it's a low bar. Like, hey, you're a good cook. I could totally open a restaurant, and I'm not a good cook, by the way.
Yeah.
My brother's a very good cook. My mom's a good cook, but I'm not a good cook. But I think for a lot of businesses, man, I love real estate. Let me go open a brokerage, real estate,
Right.
whatever it is.
Hey, like I'm a really good trainer. Let's go open a gym.
Let's go open a gym.
That's right.
A does not equal B, does not equal
Not at all.
They don't line up at all. And so in Odom, Texas, not Corpus Christi, we're still in the Gulf of Mexico, but we're inland. So people would drive by as we're building out. I'm sure it was 600, 700 square feet, adding 2,000 square feet because we have some massive dreams. My family and I, we renovated houses. My parents do that hard work. My parents are very successful through sheer determination and grind. They work harder than anybody. My mom and dad still go under houses to do plumbing with some of their rental properties. They're 70s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're in their 70s.
Are they a young 70?
They're a young 70. They're very active. No one will still to this day work harder than they will.
It's kind of cool, isn't it?
It's amazing.
Does it make you worry about them less?
Yes. Yeah.
Like you don't worry about like your parents like falling down and hurting themselves. And
here recently, over the last couple of weeks, my dad started like feeling wobbly. Like, what the hell?
Did he talk to you about it?
Dad, all of us, because he felt so wobbly, he had to get a doctor's appointment.
Oh, really?
They were digging trenches for some of the low electrical lines and water lines, and he was out there by himself. My mom was doing her thing inside the house, like building a house, like a smaller home after all the kids are out 20 years later. So he got so dehydrated, kind of got off balance. Like, wait a second, now that's not digging trenches at 70 plus years old. It's like, Dad, you can't be doing that. My mom will fall. Like, Mom, you can't be doing that. Who else is going to do it? We can't pay someone to do that. We can do it ourselves. Grind, man, hardworking folks. So
building out the restaurant.
2003 we opened. So building out the restaurant, my mom's pretty much general contractor. My dad's doing everything he can. My uncle is doing all the work. We're painting, we're digging the holes for the massive pier and beam foundation for the extension. People driving by like, wow, what's that? What's going on over there? It's like, it's a seafood restaurant. No one's going to buy seafood in Odom, Texas. No, that's dumb.
Just because you are too inland?
Too inland. Why? Corpus is right there. That's where you buy seafood. Rockport, Aransas Pass, right on the water.
The seafood spots.
The seafood spots. Port Aransas. You go to the beach.
Right.
That's where you buy seafood. It'll never work. I love that. I love it. I love it. I didn't know I loved it, but I love it now, 20 years later.
What?
When people say, well, that's not going to work. You can't do that. I love it.
Why?
Because I didn't know that I couldn't. We had no experience. We didn't know that we couldn't. So we did.
You had no ceiling. You had no expectation. You have no idea.
I could fail miserably. And still to this day, I tell the people that I work with, it's like, I could be the worst this ever. I don't know, but I'm still going to give it a shot.
Where does that come from?
Probably the restaurant.
Well, but like where did that come inside of, like, in going through the process of the restaurant, or was that always inside you? Like you always felt this, like, not say I can't do something, but like, and not saying I don't want to be told I can't do something, but the thing of like that the possibilities are endless.
Probably my parents. I think my mom and dad, super hardworking, and being Hispanic family from South Texas, my dad had 10 or 11 siblings. My mom had 9 or 10 siblings, huge families. I remember the stories of my grandpa basically stealing a chicken and to feed the family. What else? There's 11 kids.
Right.
Like, no, man, I got to do something.
You do whatever you have to do.
Do whatever you have to do. And the sheriff coming in, hey, we're going to have to, after the kids are sitting at the table, we're going to have to take the chicken. Like, what the fuck? What? How do you do that, man?
Yeah.
So I got it good. Like, it's unbelievably good, everything we've been blessed with. So when mom and dad say, shit, let's give it a shot.
Right.
Like, hell yeah, let's give it a shot. I didn't realize that. Still kind of timid little fat kid in the corner, not being picked for anything. I didn't realize that was a possibility. But the restaurant, you just solidified it because I started believing, like, man, we can't do this. There's no way we could do it. We don't know anything about restaurants.
Do you know, one, I have like a kind of a question, but like, what solidifies that for me is that you opened 2 more restaurants. So obviously, you're like, tell me I can't do something.
Tell me I can't do something.
So, but my question is for you, like now being older and where you are now, do you have that exact same perspective? Is it a little bit more pulled back? Does that kind of creep into does failure kind of creep into your head where you're like, you kind of think about it and it kind of starts to fuck with you a little bit? You know what I'm saying? Like when you have like no expectation, like you're like, I'm just going to do anything, right? It only really like affects you when failure starts to creep in, right? So I guess my question is like, how do you feel about it now? What is your level of failure, failure scares? Like how much are you scared of failure?
I don't know if I'm all that scared of failure.
Still.
Okay.
Even though you to your own words, you failed masterfully, right?
Yeah.
But like you still kind of.
The first restaurant was so much of a success so quickly just because we were always there.
Okay.
All of us were always there.
Okay, so really quick, so back up. So like let's back up just a little bit and go right back into what you're talking about. So y'all are putting the restaurant together, y'all build it, nobody's gonna buy seafood in Odom, Texas. And then what happens?
And then the people in Odom, like we open up, the people in Odom see us at the front door. Like, oh man, this is nice. Who owns this place? Like, well, we do. But y'all can't do that. Y'all are Mexicans from Odom.
Right.
That's what I saw.
Right. Or that's at least what you felt.
That's what I felt.
Yeah.
So like, no, that's not right. And people from all over, Corpus Christi, San Antonio, Houston, Beeville, like 2 hours away would get there. Like, oh crap. Man, what did we do now? Still, it's open almost 20 years later, still in operation. I don't operate at all. I don't have anything to do with it.
Is it still in y'all's family or y'all sell it?
It's in the family.
Yeah.
It's in the family still. Brother, sister, mom, dad, always there doing their thing. That's another part of how difficult it is. Family business. That's very difficult. Unbelievably difficult. So I was so confident in my abilities that I said, I can do this on my own. That was business number 2. Move all the way to San Antonio. If I can open in Odom, Texas, I can
kill it in San Antonio.
I can kill it in San Antonio.
Okay, so what was the place called in Odom?
Railroad Seafood Station in Odom, Texas, still in existence.
Still in existence 20 years later.
20 years later.
Great seafood.
Great seafood.
If someone goes there, what should they get?
Family style shrimp and fresh black drum.
There you go. Okay. So restaurant number 2 is going to be in San Antonio. And what is it called?
Cibolo, Texas. Same thing. Beautiful 2-story log cabin overlooking kind of Cibolo Creek. Beautiful 2-story log cabin, over $1 million. Why would I rent? I'm going to be a success. Let me go ahead and buy it.
Was that the mistake?
That was the mistake. That was the mistake. I was.
It's too much of your equity.
Too big for my britches, to be perfectly honest.
Right.
So
did your parents give you any advice on that at the time?
Oh, everybody, because it was all still a family business, but I was going to go out on my own because, man, I can't take this family stuff. Like I'm going to do what I'm going to do. You're going to do what you're going to do. You're going to do it. Like I have to have structure in my day because I'm crazy. Mm-hmm. So I have to break it down. I'm not very, I don't think I'm an organized thinker. So I have to intentionally bring it down. Like, this is what I'm going to do. That's what you're going to do. Because if I don't know what I'm going to do, then I'm going to forget about it and I'm not going to do it. Mm-hmm. I'm lazy and I'm by default, like I'm just lazy. So I got to know exactly what I'm going to do. I got to know exactly what you're going to do. Mm-hmm. That wasn't happening. Everyone was doing everything and some things were falling through the crack despite our success, is how I felt. Like, damn, I can do this on my own.
Okay. Did that person who you were at that time was like, I can do this better?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I can do it. I can do this better on my own. I can do all of this because obviously the concept works and I'm gifted. Man, that guy came out screaming. That Alex came out blaring like, no one can knock me off my britches.
It's like Jamie Foxx at the end of Django Unchained. So you go to San Antonio and you open the second spot.
Open a second restaurant on the first day. Like we spend a year, maybe not, probably close to a year, renovating a building it out, making it perfect. The very first day we were open, City inspector comes in. My Katrina evacuee, who was my chef in Odom, Texas, went with me. He wanted to move to the bigger city also. Katrina, New Orleans, Katrina evacuee. Katrina had just happened.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, makes some fresh gumbo, fresh Gulf seafood. That's his thing. Very first day, city inspector goes, "You can't serve this shit here." And I'm thinking, man, this is a New Orleans authentic gumbo. What does that mean? I should have turned around and my life would have been so much better. I probably wouldn't have learned many lessons. But the very first day we were open, ribbon cutting with the chamber, all that stuff, I was doing everything I possibly could, burning through money to make it a success for whatever. And probably it was my mindset. Everything comes from mindset. But it was, I knew what I was doing. So I wasn't willing to learn anything else. I wasn't willing to take your advice. I wasn't willing to.
You already know.
I know. Like, why would I change what I'm doing? You're dumb.
Like, bro, do you know that I opened up the seafood railroad
in Odom? Do you know that?
Do you know?
So that
you pulled over by the cops. Roseanne, what? Do you know who I am?
Obviously,
you ever heard of Odom, Texas?
No. So that we were open for about 16, 18 months. Man, if I would have had a dog, it would have died. It would have something. Lost my girlfriend, lost my business, $1 million in debt, everything. Massive depression. So back to the question you asked, how do you get that? Like, how do you know? I don't have a fear of failure because I went through a depression after that because it was my idea. It was all of it. I always get emotional when I talk about this stuff. It was like, that was me. And it was a failure, massive failure. Why you got to do that to me, Scotty? Shit. Fuck.
Well, but I think what's so great about everything that you're saying is that you're sitting here right now.
Yeah.
And you have your 3 girls, right? You have your wife that you have now. I'm assuming I know you fairly well. You love your life right now, right? And you don't. I'm convinced that everyone they might have more than one, but they're probably going to have, across our lifetime, they're going to have one pivotal, one life-changing thing. And it's so incredibly life-changing that either you fly or you just die. Like, you know what I mean? Like either you find a way to soar or you don't figure it out and life starts to get really hard, like really fast.
Yep.
And some people can stay afloat for a while, but then crash. And it's really about like, you got to get higher. Like you got to get higher than what you were. You got to, and I would assume that like, you know, knowing you kind of probably as a dad, like when your girls talk to you, you listen to them. Right. And you probably wouldn't have learned that lesson without the lesson in the restaurant business.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like there's this thing, like in my opinion, you shattered your ego.
Yeah. Had to get rid of that.
Your ego had to die in at least what it was and come back as a healthier version of itself. And that's when we were talking before we started. That's what kind of happened to me. My ego had to die.
Yeah.
And I had to understand like what my role and importance in this world is and like what it's not and what I think it is and what it really is. You know what I mean? So I think it's great.
No, it's it took a while. It was a painful lesson, failing miserably. The weight of the family, the weight of the business, firing everybody a week before Christmas. Like, I can't afford to pay you. That was hard. Went into massive depression. Moved back to Corpus, tail between my legs. You know, 3, 4, 5, 6 months just in bed, laying in bed, not getting out of bed.
So you didn't work for that time?
No, didn't work.
Where were you staying at your house or your parents?
I happened to buy the home that I was born in Corpus Christi. So I bought that a couple years before. And so I was there. I think my brother was probably living with me at the time and he was doing his thing still in Odom, but the Odom business was still operational. So I guess I was on the family plan. So still, I wasn't spending any money, but I wasn't making any money either.
Right.
So finally one day I looked up, I said, man, the sun's still shining. I'm still here.
I woke up today.
I woke up today. And dude, believe me, when I say it's been years, but I'll have to think about my wins. Like I'll go back to, man, I learned how to tie my shoes that one day. I rode my bike. I graduated high school. I graduated college. No one thought I was going to graduate college because I failed out. I go all the way back and I started thinking about, I learned how to tie my shoes. People laugh when I say that, but that we take baby steps. And I had to constantly remind myself of the baby steps of all the things that I had accomplished because that took me down. We opened up another restaurant in Corpus Christi. I partnered with another company.
Not your family.
Not my family. Same concept.
Did you purposely not do something with your family? Did you feel ashamed? Like you were like, hey, I let them down, so I got to do something away from them?
It was family and a partnership. And then a couple of years after that, it's still the same family dynamic. So like, well, let me just separate again.
Yeah.
Still like, dude, I can do this. There's sky's the limit. I'm in the big city of Corpus Christi and that didn't work out. I mean, the restaurant's still in existence, but those are some of the shadiest people I've ever dealt with in my life. Just not good partners.
Right. Well, and you kind of, it's like, you'd always done business with your family.
Yeah.
So the trust is already there.
The trust is there.
And you probably went into this new partnership with the idea of like, oh, it works like this.
Yeah.
Right.
Man, then, you hit it on the head.
Well, because like, I think, so there's a great book by Malcolm Gladwell and it's called Talking to Strangers. And what he talks about is that we have what's called a default to truth.
Yeah.
So what that means is that you believe something is true until something comes along that convinces you it's not true. And for some people, that can be the first lie. And for some people, it's the 101st lie.
Yeah.
Right. And everybody is on a varied thing. And so when you go into a situation where you've only had trusting relationships for the most part, right, and then you go into a new relationship and you take that with you, then you automatically think, oh, well, they're,
Yeah.
And then like things happen, you go, well, man, it wasn't a big deal. Or like, I can let that slide. Oh, that doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're like, no. I'm not going to do this. Like, this is fucked up.
I've had plenty of people tell me I'm too trustworthy. And I don't want to let that go because that's me. Like, because I think now what I teach and what I talk and what I tell people who I associate with, like, we gotta, like, if whatever you think, law of attraction, all that, I'm not like, whatever, but I still think what you think about, you bring about. So if I feel like, man, I'm going to go to Scott's house, I'm going to go, like, we're going to have a good time.
We're going to have a good time.
We're going to have a good time. That's the way it's going to happen. But if I think, oh, dude, he's going to piss me off, it's going to suck over there, something is going to happen. Friggin' AC went out. It's going to suck. There's a fly. I can't believe. So that's what's compounded in my mind. And it sucks.
Right.
So hopefully no one tries to take advantage because I'm saying this on the air, but I'm going to believe that I'm going to have a good time and I'm going to be a success. Back to the original question. I ended that partnership in that business number 3, had just gotten married, had baby number 1. And I told my wife, I got to do something else. I Man, I want to spend time with you guys, my wife and my brand new baby. And she goes, okay, you will do fine. Yeah, whatever.
She believed in you.
100%, more than 100%.
Yeah.
So still on my mom's insurance policy with my car insurance. I said, you know what? I'm going to open up a farmer's agency. Like, it's your business. It's cool. Like, right. You own the business. You're selling farmers products. That was tough. Again, opening my own business, not knowing anything about seafood or restaurants, not knowing anything about insurance. I think I'm just a glutton for punishment and like to prove that to myself and like, all right, let me go do it. So again, open for a year. Hurricane Harvey hits me in the face in the Gulf of Mexico, my little office in Aransas Pass. Painful, tears, agony, frustration. Like, what did I get myself into? And that, again, was a catalyst. Turned my life around, failure in San Antonio. Like, man, the sun is shining. Hurricane Harvey, where roofs were off of houses the winter that it snowed in 2017 in South Texas. No one had water. No one had plumbing. No one had diapers for their babies. And I was in the middle of all of that, all of it. There's videos. Like I don't go viral for anything, but I did a video for my whatever, my distribution center.
Right.
Like thousands and thousands and thousands of video of views. Like, man, that's because I'm getting all emotional. I don't know what it is about me getting emotional. Maybe I'm a little baby, but it was powerful. And that changed the trajectory. I realized what I was supposed to be doing.
Just be helping others.
Helping people.
That's right.
All that it is.
That's all it ever is.
It's unbelievable. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So that was business number 4, which was a success.
Super Talk Gamer plays Jody Allen.
Oh, shit.
How you doing, Mr. Hinojosa?
Damn. Give me 10. No. That's
Think about it. Think about it.
What the hell, bro? What's up, man?
Buddy,
There you go.
Look, I got my blue lighter. I got my place book, my
What
blue
the
pen.
fuck?
Got my blue pen. Would you mind if can I get your interview today?
Yes, get my interview.
Okay.
All right, so like, go ahead and sit in the chairs. Watch that mic. I mean, come on, Pledge. What the fuck?
Sorry, sir.
Okay. I mean, he might be a little nervous. So, like, you know.
It's my first interview.
Yeah.
What's going on, buddy?
What's going on?
Do you have your place jersey still?
Yeah, I do. It's in my bottom drawer of my dresser.
Yours probably fits better than mine.
I would just cut that bottom part off if I were you.
Make it a tank top.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That would have looked great at ACL this weekend.
Are you going to ask him some questions or no?
Oh, yes, sir. Sir, yes, sir. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Who were our chapter founders? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Tyler Levy, Tyler.
Is that really one?
I think that's Farmers Founders.
Lonnie Dement. I've always remembered that name.
Dement.
Carl Fugue.
Fugue.
Yeah, Terry Vaught. Yeah.
Terry Vaught.
Michael Johnson.
Didn't we interview each other?
During play, yeah.
Do you have my interview?
I don't know. Where do we put ours?
Yeah, let's roll through it real quick.
Alex Hinojosa, right here.
All right, let's
Let me get to the questions.
Hang on. Yeah. No. Yeah. So Jody, like, ask him.
Brian Sotak.
Hey, ask him the
Are we not
questions.
supposed to name drop?
Yeah, you name drop. I mean, these guys are
they're
famous.
not
important. You don't even name drop. So
I don't have the questions for the pledges though. But
what?
hold on, maybe
Think
is it
about
the
it.
same?
Think about it.
Is it the same questions?
You probably asked him the same questions.
No, there's like 23 regular questions.
Well, look, he's got answers, so maybe
Yeah, we'll
You
figure
got
it
some
out.
hair.
Hey,
Keep on looking at your hair.
hey, look. Hey, can we do like a Jeopardy thing where you give him the answers and you try to figure out what the questions are?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah, let's see. Hold on, John Catalina. Okay, Alex Hinojosa. Oh, okay.
Hey, can
What
you
is
breathe?
no,
Sure.
is I need a CPAP. Anybody got a CPAP? Well, this one kind of has the question. What do you value most?
Value, leadership, excellence, benefit, and integrity.
I think that was our principles.
Yes.
Your answer was family and friends.
Oh, fuck
Sorry,
friends.
sorry, man. Sorry, man.
Golly.
In the fam.
Come on.
He doesn't even value family anymore.
No,
He's got a family now.
Value,
He
leadership,
did.
excellence, benefit,
Okay.
integrity, sir.
Number 2. The answer is Jody Allen. I don't know what the question was. Why did you join a
Who do I
fraternity?
look up to the most in my
Definitely,
life?
that's accurate today. That's
Who,
it.
who are you at least trying to be like?
It was probably who got you to join a fraternity because I dragged all y'all
Who'd
to
you
the
do a
rush
swirly
parties.
with?
Who
Yeah.
did you give a swirly with?
Really quickly, talk about how y'all ended up pledging together because you were going around bugging people.
No,
No,
that wasn't
we
me.
were in the Falls Hall together.
False Hall.
And we had hung out with some fraternities our fall semester, but we just kind of hung out in our own clique the first semester. Me, him, Longhurst, Eloy, George, and a few other, everybody had their friends from back home. But then the springtime, we started going to rush parties and we ended up becoming like a Like it was like us five. Someone had to accept all five of us, or we wouldn't join, right?
And that's
we were like a package
and
deal.
that is when I failed out of college. Exactly.
And so Alex pledges with us. He's one of the five, the Fab Five, and then we never saw him again. No, he came back. He finished.
Yeah, I did before you, fool.
Oh, probably yeah.
May 2000.
No, it was December '99. Me
Were
and
you?
me and Eloy graduated together.
I know I graduated before
The rest of
George.
everyone.
Yeah.
Anyways, what's your next question?
The answer is actor Tom Hanks.
Oh yeah. That's my favorite actor still to this day.
Oh, that was our question, probably. Man, I can't
Toy
read my
Story. Have you
handwriting.
watched Toy Story? That gets emotional. I think I
What?
feel a trend here. God,
100 wish or something, and you put happiness. I don't know.
I just
don't
want to
know
be
what
happy.
I wrote.
I haven't changed
See, we
much.
had already drank in a handle of Jack Daniels and Crown by the time we did these.
Do you remember that?
Galveston, right? Didn't we go? We buried the bottle.
Oh yeah,
The pledge retreat.
yeah.
Your favorite hobby at the time? I don't know if this is a hobby. You put sports.
No, that's definitely not. No,
You played football. And you wore those little ass Odom out shirts that look like this.
No, that's not me
Around the
anymore.
dorm, he'd wear his
So
yellow
my hobbies
Odom out
today,
shirts.
my hobbies today are reading
I
and
was
hanging out
always-
with my daughters.
I was always like, dude, does Odom not sell bigger shirts than that? It's always like,
I gained weight my freshman year, jerk face.
Answer is David Robinson.
Oh, favorite athlete.
Okay.
Yeah. Dude, you need glasses?
I can't read my handwriting. Something and his parents. I can't read what I wrote.
Who do I
first.
look up to the most? My parents.
Yeah.
Who do I owe the most money to?
Here's
Who
a
do I
good
owe
one.
them? I paid them off
is-
last
Did
month. I paid them off. You want to know the amount?
That's great.
How much? Wow.
It's what you paid him last month.
Last month.
Just had that sitting around. Nice.
My mom
Maybe
said,
I
"Hey,
need to get into insurance.
it's time. It's time." It's like,
This could be edited out. But favorite sex position. Let's see if that's still the same.
no, nope, not answering that.
There's an answer here, though. We have an answer.
Hey, hang on.
What is
His favorite position is sex, just in any form or fashion. Like that's a favorite position, right?
just being in the same room
Yeah,
when it's
but
happening with someone?
What do you put on
Or
his
even
phone?
if it's on the,
What did
the
I
computer
say
screen.
20 years ago?
The answer is bottom.
You know, there wasn't a whole lot of experience behind that.
Hey, do you need to tell us something?
Oh man, I can't read my handwriting.
No,
You're like, I have 3 girls.
Oh,
Oh man.
I wish I could read my own
and a wife
handwriting.
I love. Yep.
I can't read these last two. Bud. Oh, favorite beer. Budweiser.
Ugh.
Was that your favorite beer?
That was the only
Boy?
beer I ever drank.
Bud.
Ugh.
It just
That's
says
so
Bud.
gross.
Man, I can't read this. Read number 9. What does number 9 look like to you?
You want a drink?
Oh yeah, it should be great.
Beyond successful.
Oh, what are you, your goals or something?
Something.
I want to be beyond successful.
B1 successful. Beyond. I think it's beyond successful.
Yeah,
I've
that's good.
accomplished it.
Yeah, you're kicking ass, brother.
So really quickly, I would like y'all can decide who goes first. Just tell your favorite story about each other. It could be from college or whatever. Just like when you think of Jody, what's the first story that comes
Dude,
to
we
mind?
got a lot.
I know, but just like, I mean, you could tell a couple or whatever.
I just went down there to the Corpus area recently. We didn't.
I know.
We weren't unable to meet up. It was the first time I was meeting my girlfriend's family. But anyway, I'm not even allowed to go to Odom anymore. I'm kicked out of the city because driving through people's front yards and stealing signs.
Do you still have those signs?
No, that was before we were in a fraternity. Probably
Yeah, that was the freshman year.
fall.
Because I was dating a girl who was a senior in high school.
Yeah, I
so
remember her, yeah.
I would solicit drivers for me to go take us down to Odom.
And he made the mistake of soliciting me one weekend,
Yeah.
and we wreaked havoc on that city.
Yeah, there was a lot of those times. The memory that still, there's a bunch of them, but the memory was just that big red can and Mark Longhurst.
Oh God,
Dude, That was excellent aim. It was just perfect.
So what happened?
We'd gone to Dance Cross, Texas Thursday night, and
College
Mark,
night?
yeah, and Mark didn't go with us. And we all lived on the 3rd floor.
And this Mark at the time is your roommate, right?
No, he lived with another guy, but
the same
dorm, same floor, 3rd floor, very end room. So me and Eloy and Alex and George and whoever else went with us, Fonzie, come back wasted from Dance Across Texas, and we start throwing stuff at Mark's window. He's all pissed off, gets on, we see the light come on, opens up the window. What? Or what? How did it go?
Yeah.
Or he just opens up the window and hurls a can out. Or something. He was mad. He was pissed that we woke him up.
Woke him up at 3:00 in the morning.
Yeah. He hurls this can of Big Red, smashes me on the forehead. And I didn't feel it, but Big Red went everywhere.
Oh, it snapped
it bashed me on the head and exploded.
From the 3rd floor.
From the 3rd floor.
That's
excellent
That tells
aim.
me so much about Jody's head.
So I dropped. Hey, I played
the head than the
I
aim.
played football as a
He was
grown
probably
man.
aiming for you, Alex, and hit Jody by accident.
My last year to play football was 2016, 6 years ago. I was 39 years old playing football. Anyway, so Mark chunks the can, hits me in the head, and it didn't really hurt, but him and Eli, everybody was like, "Oh my God, are you all right?" And I'm like, ow. So I fall on the ground and the red stuff's all over me, and they're like, "You hit him on the head, he's bleeding everywhere." And then Mark's window's still open. You can hear him up there getting dressed going, fuck, shit. He's getting dressed, fucking all cussing and screaming at himself for throwing it and getting all fucking mad. He comes all the fucking way down. I'm like, just kidding. I'm all right. It doesn't hurt.
I miss Mark.
He was so
Mark,
pissed off.
like way overbearing, like just stressing out and random out of left field. Yeah, I miss Mark.
He's up in Baltimore.
What's your favorite story about Alex?
It's those wreaking havoc in his town.
In Odom. Yeah.
That was fun. Did your back window get busted out at my apartment one time too in your truck, or was that Eddie's truck?
No, that was Eddie's truck. That was Eddie's truck.
I would always park at Carlisle, go to class.
I never drank with y'all very much, so I don't have a lot of stories.
Well, the adult life story with him and Brandon when we put a hole in my wall.
Okay, so really quickly, we kind of referenced that earlier. Tell that story.
Oh yeah. So
We use the term adult loosely.
Yeah, this was early 20s. So we were so mature. We weren't together. They had gone somewhere and I had gone somewhere. And I can't remember if I had asked them to leave the door open or something. But I came home and for some reason, I don't know why I couldn't get in the garage because I had a garage door opener. I don't know I don't know the backstory of why.
I don't remember the leading up to it. I don't remember.
But I was locked out of the house. And
Your house, right?
Yeah,
Pissed,
my house.
and Jody
I was
gets
pissed off because I swore I told them not to lock it out because I didn't have my shit with me or something. And so they came home, and Brandon, just messing around, being funny, they just sit in the truck and flash their lights at me. And I'm sitting on the front,
Jody,
and I'm sitting on the front porch, fucking fuming. I'm locked out of my own goddamn house, and Brandon just keeps flicking the light. I'm like, yeah, come on, let's go. I'm going in the fucking house, blah, blah. Flick the light. And I got fucking pissed. So I'm like, Alex, I don't think at this point was involved. But I was yelling at Brandon or something.
Jody gets pissed. Jody has a really good time, but he gets pissed. Like, I don't know what it is, but when you piss Jody off, it's like fun and games. Like, oh shit, that's a 180-degree turn real quick.
Well, that night was no fun and games. I was pissed when y'all pulled up. But so they get out of the truck and come in. We open the door and everything, and then me and Alex start going at it. And I don't even think it's about the door. But I don't think it was about me being locked out.
Is everybody drunk at this point?
Oh yeah,
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
None of this is logical, right?
No.
Yeah.
No. And, well, Alex is like rugby player or whatever, and we're in the little bitty foyer hallway. You remember that house? The pool tables in the front room?
It's narrower. Yeah,
it's like smaller than this little area right here.
Yeah.
And so me and Alex start going in like wrestling moves, and he puts me in a headlock, punches me gives me a black eye.
I don't give you a black eye.
You gave me a black eye. I had to wear sunglasses to Enterprise the next day. I mean, it wasn't horrible, but it did change the color. And then I just ram him into the wall. Huge hole, like 2 feet big, just smashes into the wall.
Where's Brandon at this point?
Laughing, just sitting on the couch.
Just sitting there. He couldn't do anything. Me and Alex were wrestling.
He was a little guy. I don't know how he is now, but he was a little guy.
I mean, he's definitely smaller than y'all two.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he works out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and that was about it. I mean,
That's probably my favorite story of you, just like
we stopped
rubbing against each other.
Yeah. We did have clothes on, regretfully.
Man, that's my biggest disappointment in life.
Yeah, so he gave me a shiner, and I broke my own wall with his butt. So that was great.
I think I fixed that.
We attempted to, but it was an old house that had weird texture.
Yeah,
it's like that weird fan, ugly texture. We couldn't match the texture. Not even close.
Well, no, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I think you did the wood part.
I did the sheetrock. Yeah.
That's his family heritage, apparently.
Yeah.
Right?
Orale.
Uh-huh. I hire a white dude to do my yard. I don't do it. I don't want to do it.
Why you hire a white guy though? Like, I mean, obviously he's not a professional.
It comes full circle.
Oh, so like because you're Hispanic, you have to hire a white guy.
Yeah, that's the reverse.
It's like reverse racism.
I remember when
I'm not racist. I'm trying to give them an opportunity the same way I had to work.
Was it during Hell Week where we painted all the stuff on the walls? Was that our
painted what on
like
the wall?
The crest and all that stuff? Didn't we do a lot of fraternity artwork stuff?
No,
I remember being
involved
involved with painting the crest in the hallway.
No, that was us.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
That happened maybe between like the pledge classes, but that was I painted that. I had to paint on that shit.
And we had a projector, and we projected
that wasn't
it on the
Hell
wall.
Week. No way, that was
I helped
Hell
all
Week.
that. I was out there for that. I remember that. That was before JoJo pissed on Gaster Scott.
Yeah.
Remember my dog JoJo, the white one?
Yeah.
Remember that dog named after himself?
Yeah. And then my son named Jolson. Hey, whatever.
You're proud.
I have a copy of it.
I'll only be convinced if you name your next daughter Jolene. That's the only way I'm
Jolene.
My next daughter. I got the snip. That's not happening. I have it right here. Please recite the Greek alphabet.
No, don't even make it. He can't do it.
Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, iota, kappa, lambda, mu, nu, phi, omicron, pi, rho, sigma, tau, number 1, upsilon, phi, chi, psi, omega, sir.
Yeah, there we go. He said, Psi, yeah. You said it kind of weird.
Hey,
that's
Alex,
a hard one
he's
to
checking
pronounce.
it like he can read.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
oh, yeah, that's
like,
right.
Let me Google.
Who
said that right?
Google.
And the whole time he's like, I don't know what the fuck.
I thought you were going to ask me for my blue condom.
I understand for learning, repetition, like that's how you learn.
Were we
There was
supposed to-
nothing I repeated more than the Greek alphabet in college.
When you were doing it, I was like, wow, I'm kind of remembering this.
Yeah.
Like, I remember it, yeah.
And it was hard for me not to yell it.
Right now.
Yeah,
we always
right
had
now,
to yell
because
it. Yeah.
I'm used to, so it was very hard for me to hold back.
Yeah, I'm glad you did.
Any other juicy stuff in there, Jody?
No. I got every single actor's
You have to
interview.
answer your own questions?
No, for other people.
It would be in their books.
Yeah.
But not in my own book.
I don't know where my book is. I think it's in a tub.
So these are our 28 questions to
2023 premonitions.
Hey, let's really quickly. Hey, do you have the questions?
for the actives, yeah.
Okay, let's go through them right now.
Name
Hey, Alex, this is kind of rapid fire, so first thing comes to your mind. We're not going to discuss it.
Well, I already know name, age, major. What was your GPA?
2.25. I love it.
When do you hope to graduate? What's your blood class? Influence to go Greek. We already did that. Influence to go Sig Tall specifically.
That was probably Jody Allen.
Jody Allen.
Well, once we got there,
Eloy,
who was your big bro?
George.
Chris Barnes?
Chris Barnes, firefighter. I haven't seen him since my pledge class.
But, like, you can't be his big brother, so, like, you can be as big as influence to join the fraternity.
Yeah.
You were, hey, like,
I don't think, would you even have gone to Rush and joined a fraternity if I hadn't dragged you?
No.
So that's a kind of different. It's kind of different.
Together.
Let me ask you this. How many people, roughly, do you think Jody influenced to join the fraternity?
Most of us. Most of us.
Hey, but no, not just y'all's pledge class, though.
Well, you're talking about during Rush over the years and
No,
stuff?
yeah, like I'm talking about like my pledge class.
But and that's what I
Jimmy's
mean
pledge
by
class.
most of us. Most of us in the crew, in the text thread, like most of us, Jody is a very strong personality, and people like that. Jody is a leader. Jody, like, you have a strong influence on people because people like to be around you. So I think you're an influence on a lot of us.
But even the trickle down effect you're talking about, like with grandsons and whatever. Yeah, I don't know.
Just having kids all over the place.
Not anymore, Sims.
Different.
No, but what I'm trying to say is that, like, I think the reason that Joe like that, like, because Jody brought people in and we kind of remain close, is because Jody's the kind of person, either you like him or you don't.
No, I don't.
I mean, no, but I mean, you know what I mean? Like, his personality, I've seen people totally be turned off by your personality from the jump, right?
Yeah.
They have to know you. And once they know you, I think everyone loves you. You know what I'm saying?
And even people that do know me can only handle small doses sometimes.
Yeah. Like a weekend at a ranch with like 15 other dudes.
Once a year.
A day.
Yeah.
Dude,
hey, quit overstepping this guy.
George asked me, "You gonna go for the full weekends?" Like, I don't know, man. I will have to let you know. It might
You're
just
like,
be
hey,
Saturday.
George, can I have your liver after I get back?
George is going with me.
I can tamper it down, when there's not fun stuff going on. But there's other people that have been to the ranch before that.
Man, I can take you for long doses. I don't have like we've known each other long enough, but there's dosage people for sure.
Yeah.
But I would say a part of that too is just like the bond that you built with Jody, like,
I think it was
wrecking your hometown.
Wrestling in the hallway.
Was that
man, that was like wrestling in a half bath.
was that like y'all's defining moment that changed y'all's relationship? Is the wrestling?
I don't know if I can say the defining moment. I don't think I can.
What do you mean that changed our relationship? We've always been pretty close.
In freshman year. No, I'm not gonna say it.
What?
No.
What happened freshman year?
Man, we can't record this stuff.
Yeah, you can't. I don't. Alex.
Oh, is this a naughty tale?
Well, I'm little town, and like Christian family and like straight like that. That's what we do. We work hard. We take care of the family. That's it. And here I am meeting Jody and George. Like, man, that's cool, man. It's cool. And so we ended up in Eloy and Jody's room watching porn.
Had you ever seen porn before?
No, I don't think I'd ever seen porn before.
Did you know that?
No. I had my room. Dude, my room was decked out, bro.
Oh,
we had a half wall mirror. I had gone to Walmart and bought that sticky black marble stuff. So my walls were all black marble.
And I
with
still
the black
remember the
and I
black
had the big
marble
stack stereo with the huge 18-inch speakers.
Hey, really quickly, Alex. Okay, you had 3 daughters. All right. When you're taking them to college and you're walking down the hallway of the dorm room and you saw that dorm room, would you go straight to your daughter and go, don't ever go into that room?
I'm telling my daughters, you don't have to go to college. I know what I did in college and I know my GPA. Whenever I messaged, I don't know if you're on the thread yet, and we were talking about GPAs, it said 2.25 motherfuckers. It don't matter.
I still wake up. I'm 45 years old and I wake up and I'm like, did I finish that class? I still don't even know if I graduated.
Dude, college is so unimportant today. Like, I'm telling my daughters and my wife, everyone, they're all educators. And I'm saying, college isn't important. Let's open up a business.
I don't know if you have to have a degree to get a real estate license. I wish I would have started doing this in my 20s.
You don't have to have a degree.
If I would have started doing this in my 20s, oh man, my life would be so different. But anyway, what was the rest of your story? So you're in my dorm room watching porn.
And we're watching porn, and I think you start like what the fuck? And it's
I never
not
pulled
out.
it out.
No, it's not out.
Okay.
Like, what the fuck?
Oh, like you wouldn't do that though. Like
no, I don't think
in a group setting.
No, I don't think he would do that.
You would never take your balls out and make it look
No, he wouldn't do
that.
That was a weekly basis.
I'm like, dude, there's life outside of Odom. Like, we're watching porn, and I'm like,
we're like rubbing ourselves through our shorts.
And
this
is
cool. It's like he lived in Afghanistan, and like he was like just over there, and all of a sudden they were like women don't have to wear dresses.
What's crazy?
What's
crazy about this story is this was so normal to me, and it stood out to him.
And I don't remember
this
I'm
at
doing
all.
this. I think I'm doing this.
Hey.
Jody called me out.
That's a Tuesday before time like today.
I called him out for touching his
like,
nipple.
are you rubbing your nipples? Like, I don't fucking know. It's so weird to me.
I don't recall this at all, bro. Cheers.
defining moment
So
in
that
my
was
life.
your defining moment of your
For our
relationship with me.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Like there's
Sorry, it wasn't memorable to me. Our first.
No. And at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Freshman year in college, Jody was rail thin. He was a twig. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. He'd wake up at 2:00, open a bag of Doritos, just eat Doritos all day long. It's like, dude, you're skinny. How do you do that? How do you?
Then,
I don't know, man. Fast metabolism, whatever.
dude, that shit stopped. I gained 100 pounds in college.
Very quickly.
Because of Mark's like, let's go to August Moon. Oh, let's go to Kettle. Oh, remember when Taco Cabana had all you could eat pancakes for like $4? Yeah, we go to the square and go eat pancakes at 2 in the morning.
Always a bag of Doritos at 2:00 when you woke up.
And then I graduated to peanut butter in the Pink House. I was always eating peanut butter on everything.
Nah.
Oh man, I barely remember the Pink House. But this is what I do remember about the Pink House. I think that was it had to have been one of the first parties I went to, like off campus, right? And like you're living there, and so like this
It's a little house too.
Like,
4 of us are living
like
there.
so. This is my point of view, Alex. Okay, so I had just met like Jody from like work, right? And he's in this fraternity.
What's the restaurant?
Lone Star.
Lone
Cafe.
Star. Yep.
All right, and at Lone Star Cafe, like this guy's running shit. Okay, like it's like everybody knows Jody, right? And so, and I'm just like, I'm kind of like you because I come from a really small town. You know, I was like I barely had sex by the time I left my hometown.
Bottom. That's your favorite bottom? I don't know. I'm gonna sound cool.
Man, I couldn't even name one now.
But I just like you said bottom. Anyways, and so Jody invites me to this party. And I don't even remember how I got there. I don't know if I went with somebody or whatever. But I remember going up to the house, and his car is in the driveway. And it's
in the carport?
It's that lowered
Blazer, yeah.
The Blazer that's
Jimmy.
blue.
Or Blazer.
Black, it was black.
It was black?
Yeah.
Yep.
I had a blue Cadillac, but the Blazer was black.
Okay, yeah.
Shaved handles.
Yeah, and it's just like, I mean, and like, this is everything I ever wanted in a fucking car at this point in my life, right?
The 412s in
And
the
so,
back.
and so, yeah. And
So
so
Scott's rubbing his nipples. Scott was rubbing his nipples out there by my car. I'm like, why are you rubbing your nipples? Why is everybody rubbing their nipples around me?
I walk into the house, and it's like something out of a goddamn movie. Like, I mean, there's just people, like the furniture, and there's people dancing on the furniture. This is what I remember.
It was like old school.
I don't know if it's like this, but it felt like, and Jody's like, come on in. What do you need? Blah, blah, blah. And you just automatically want to fucking be there, right?
Yep.
And it was just so fucking cool. And that's what sold me. I think that party sold me, like, at that moment.
Dude,
and I was outgoing in high school, Mr. OHS, class favorite. Like I was big in small town. And then I went to Southwest and Jody was big. Like, man, this guy knows everybody, loud, funny, talkative.
So
like
you grew up in Round Rock, right?
yeah, I went to Westwood.
Yeah,
Northwest.
so, I mean, like, so like it's like, you know.
Yeah, my graduating class was like 500 people, but I wasn't like super popular in high school. I mean, everybody knew me because both my parents taught there and stuff. But I had a girlfriend my senior year, so I worked. Senior year, I did half day, but no. So I wouldn't say I wasn't like uber popular in high school. Everyone knew me, but I mean, to this day, I'm still friends with a ton of people from high school. I loved my high school years, so yeah, I had a good high school.
Yep,
year.
me too.
I have a lot of super friends from high school to this day, but that party or the parties at that Pink House, when those parties were over, yeah, we would have like the couches were all put up against the walls in front of the windows. So we'd always have broken windows from girls dancing on the back of the couches and kicking out the windows accidentally because they were old single pane windows.
Mm-hmm.
We'd have feet print on the ceilings from like people doing keg stands and stuff, and they'd lift them up and their feet would hit the ceilings.
I still remember Biggie. Like always. I love it when you call me Big Papa. Ain't no party
the
like
wall of speakers with the old Sony glass bubble screen TV. This is before flat screens.
Is that house still there?
Mm-mm.
They tore it down?
Tore down.
There's nowhere that I lived or worked in college that still exists. My history there's been disappeared.
Probably on purpose.
That was intentional.
Yeah. The president's like, we got to erase this Jody guy.
Oh, my God.
Were you surprised at all to see Jody walk in?
Yeah, I was unbelievably surprised. It's like, what's that show? What's behind the curtain? I was. We watched porn together.
So how I usually wrap the thing up, I'll tell you and then I'll start. So I usually ask people how they take care of themselves because I think it looks different for everybody. So like, some people like to play video games. Some people read books. Some people do yoga. Some people do blah, 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 whatever. But I got to think to be successful, you understand that you have to take care of yourself and you have to put on your mask first before, you put on everybody else's, right? So what do you do to take care of yourself, like, so you can be good for your family?
Over this weekend when I was at the conference for farmers, there was a guy I don't think he's a motivational speaker, just like focusing what you got to focus on. He was talking about what we need to do every single day and bringing your kids up right. And I think I mentioned earlier, my favorite part of my day is with my daughters. Every morning I'll wake my daughters up. I have to wake up at least 2 hours before everybody so I can be ready. So I'll do my reading, my praying, my meditating, all of it. And then I'll wake my daughters up and get them in a good mood. So that's my bookmark, my bookend. Start my day with me.
And really quickly, you don't look at your phone until you're done with you.
Yeah, so I don't look at my phone. So, I'll get my girl after I get my girls ready and I start shaving up probably 7:05. That's 7 a.m. Right around 7 a.m. That's when I'll look at my phone. So I'll wake up about 4:45. I'll wake my girls up about 6:25. And then after I get them going and I start getting dressed, I'll look at my phone about 7:01, 7:02 in the morning.
And then you kind of check all your personal stuff, right? Because we kind of talked about this before because I kind of noticed this. And you were kind of confirming that like I was kind of picking up on the pattern. So you do all your personal stuff and then your phone switches into business mode.
Yeah.
And then it becomes just business. That's the only reason I'm looking at my phone because I have to answer texts or blah, 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 or whatever.
Lots of emails, lots of texts all day long.
And so then when you get home, what happens?
That's how I start my day. I book in the beginning and the end. I've in the restaurant business, 16, 20 hours days are normal. What I do now, I've been unbelievably blessed. I have an amazing staff. I love what I do. So now I'll get home probably 5:45, 6 o'clock, have dinner with my daughters, my baby, who's about 18, 19 months now. She takes a lot of work. 18, 19-month-old, 2-year-old, play with her a lot. Work with the girls, with my older girls with homework. Put my baby to bed about 7:30, and then 7:30, 7:45, that's when I'll look back at my phone for TikTok or whatever.
That's after you're done with your girls.
After I'm done with my girls.
They are a priority.
Yeah. A lot of homework for them.
And I'm going to go out on a limb and say, like, you try to work hard, like no devices, right? Like, I mean, everybody leans on them, but like, I got to think that you try to, like, on some level, keep it at a minimum, right?
I tell everyone, like, I'm lazy. I think I'm fat and lazy just like the rest of them. So I try to put mechanisms in place to wake up at 4:45, otherwise I'm going to sleep till 9. I don't eat breakfast because I'm going to eat too much. I skip breakfast and lunch on Mondays because I'm very busy. So I try to put parameters on myself. So I don't know if there's a no device rule, but
you put parameters on.
But I put parameters. Which
I think is great.
If I want to be with my daughters, like no iPads, no device. Like, I don't know if I say that, but I want to be with them when I'm with them.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's going to be sloppy and lazy and we're just going to not be connected to each other.
Well, I think what's really great about that is like you're setting the example.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, I'm not going to have my phone here.
Exactly.
So what's the use of you having your iPad here?
And I'm not perfect. Like Saturdays.
And everybody should, like, there should be like your kids, like your oldest daughter, she probably uses devices like for school and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So like, it's not like you can totally eliminate it, but like like you said, like have parameters that you're comfortable with, and maybe on the weekends they get to play on it more or whatever.
Yeah. Like Saturday, I'm watching Coco Melon with my daughter, and I like stop me, shoot me in the face. Like I'm going to be on my phone while my daughter's watching a little bit of Coco Melon on the main TV, and we're talking and we're hanging out. Like, okay, we got to go outside and take a stroll through the neighborhood for 20, 30, 40 minutes so I can get away from everything and be with you only before the big girls wake up.
Well, and you're kind of feeling a little bit of like what some of those cartoons do, which is like, it really kind of like pumps you up. Like, it's like very flashy, you know? Like when you watch old like Disney cartoons, it's like a bunch of long songs and they're doing these whole like numbers, and it goes on for like forever. And then you watch like new cartoons and you realize it's like changing like every moment. You know what I mean? Cartoon recommendation, you don't have to take it, but like since your daughter is about this age, is I love watching Bluey with my daughter.
Really?
Yes.
Bluey. Okay.
Yes. And it's only because I have learned how to be a better parent by watching this cartoon.
And I've heard of Bluey. I've never watched it. So
it's great. I binge watched season 3. Like, no, I really did. Like, it came out and I was like so excited because I just love the cartoon and I love the things that they talk about and stuff. It's very insightful. We're talking about like Ted Lasso. It's very Ted Lasso-ish.
Oh,
right?
Nice.
So anyways, and so we started watching the 3rd season, and then she went to bed and I was like, man, I got to see what else is like going on. So I watched like another like 4 or 5 of them.
I can't wait till Ted Lasso comes back out. You know, I love what his message is. Yep.
I think they just they put, you know, it's a very powerful thing to put a very lovable character that's very vulnerable.
Yeah.
And then him work through that. And I think a lot of people can relate to that.
Can relate. Like, I don't think I'm great, but I think I try my very best. And I'll be dumb. I'll say stupid things, but I'm trying my very best.
What else do you do to like kind of like take care of yourself? Like, you know, are you say, do you read? You read a lot?
I read a lot. I don't know what it was. It might have been the bank after the dating service. Watching the 70-year-old man in overalls and the beat up pickup truck sticking a deposit in the bank account, having millions of dollars, and watching the gorgeous Mercedes Benz and the immaculate gentleman walking in the bank asking to get his overdraft waived. And that was such a juxtaposition. It was strange seeing that. Like, that old guy don't have nothing, millions of dollars.
Did you see that a lot?
No, I didn't see it a lot. I saw enough. I saw one old man. I could still picture the old man, and I could still picture the immaculate guy who I wanted to be like. Perfect black shoes, starched denim, black shirt, black jacket, perfect belt buckle, sharp sunglasses. I could see him overdrawn. Like, that, he's overdrawn. What I don't. And early on in my life, trying to figure things out, it's like, wait a second. I don't have to. That maybe that's not what I want. Maybe I don't want a Mercedes Benz. I mean, I don't want to beat up pickup truck, but I'm driving a pickup truck now. I don't want to beat up pickup truck. It's like, where can I be? Where can I find my path for success? So it's not way on one end saving everything, but it's not way on the other end spending everything.
It's right there in the middle.
Right there. Like, what's my path? So, you know, who do I try to be? I try to be me. I try to, like, is it working 20 hours a day? Is it working 8 hours a day? Is it loving my daughters? Like, where is it? So that's what I try to toggle between still to this day. Back in Lakeway, Texas, seeing those two guys.
I would just argue that once you accept that your life is a bunch of like ebb and flows, right? Like the only thing that stays the same is that everything changes.
Yeah.
Right? Once you realize that, And I would even say that your experiences, like through like the restaurant business and all the stuff that you kind of like talked about, it teaches you that, like, you know, someone, that, you know, you can be someone that gets knocked down 7 times and stays down, or gets up and does 8th time. And when you realize that, like, your last failure doesn't have to be what defines you, your whole life changes.
Yeah.
And like, and it's just accepting failure for, like, this is part, like, big risk comes with big reward. Big failure, I mean, you could have big failure too, you know? So like, you know, what is your risk limit? What are you okay with? Like, you know, and you're obviously okay taking big chances for a big payoff. You know what I mean? And I would even say at this point, all the big chances you took, no matter if they failed or not, like, were a big payoff.
They taught me a lesson. Like right now, I was telling a buddy of mine, I showed him a picture of the practically $1 million building that I want to buy that needs work. I mean, I'm scared. And there's no reason to be scared, but I guess it's a $600,000 building that I want to buy for me, for my future, for my office, for all of it. Like, you know, if my intuition, if I pray about it, if I think about it, it's like, I can use that no matter what. Like I tell my agents today, I could be the worst landlord. I could be the worst manager. I could be the worst. I'm gonna pick myself back up. I know that failure isn't final.
History has proven that.
History is proven. And that's I know I got to try really hard, but I know that my mission in life, part of my mission in life is saying, look at what you can accomplish. Don't just look at face value. Just don't look at this. Like, how do you take that leap of faith for whatever it is, that little tiny step out into faith, and you're walking off the ledge like, oh man, this is nice. It's a fall. Believe me, it's scary. But if you believe in yourself and you're willing to put, my wife makes fun of me, the required activity. If you're willing to do the required activity, then it's going to be okay. No matter if you fall on your face or you fly, it's going to be okay. My God has blessed me abundantly, and I'm going to be okay.
I think that's probably the hardest thing for people to understand, that I could argue that people that continue to have like bad luck are just kind of seeing it, manifesting it in that way. And so I kind of always like going back. My favorite analogy is like kind of a quarterback that throws an interception. You have to immediately forget about it. Like, you immediately forget about it and go back to what your job is, which is like trying to score a touchdown. And like, failure was so scary to me, but then my favorite quarterbacks were those guys that were so risky. And then I stretched myself to become more risky. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, like, I like this. I like pushing myself like this. I essentially, like, I felt like on some level, like I was dying. Like, I was just there. Just there, comfortable. Everything's fine. So what is there? I'm not saying you should take tremendous risk, but like, what is there to risk if you're just like doing nothing? Like, why would you live? Like, why would you even do anything if you're just going to do the same old shit? Yeah. Like Groundhog's Day, you know. And I admire, like, thinking about, like, you branching off and then, buying this building and then going under and like all this stuff. Like, I mean, fuck, I definitely wouldn't open another restaurant. Like, or I wouldn't, I mean, maybe I had gone in partnership with somebody. When you were saying it though, I was like, ooh, I don't know about that. That just seems like super risky.
I tell my wife, like, hey, what kind of restaurant do you want to open?
Like right now?
I would do it again. I would totally do it again. I know the lessons I've learned, and I would do it again.
So really quickly then, so this is the last question I'll ask you. When you said earlier, so you're gonna purchase this building, okay, and you have a level of fear, okay, what is the fear? What if you feel like, oh, I'd open another restaurant, like you failed and all these things, but like you go, I am fearful. What are you afraid of?
For the building, it would be
like purchasing the building
for $1 million building. Like, man, can I afford it? Some of my best decisions and some of my worst decisions have started with, what's the worst that could happen?
I think that's a totally valid way to look at, like, if you're not evaluating the worst and the best of whatever you're doing, like, you're just,
And
like,
if I can live with the worst that could happen,
absolutely.
like if I could go, I could buy in a building. What's the worst that could happen? I can't afford it. Man, I gotta
sell it.
sell it. And then I make more money on the back end by selling it after renovating it.
Right.
Opening a restaurant, what's the worst that could happen? Man, I could lose $100,000. All right. What's the worst that could happen? What's the worst that could happen? That's what I asked myself with restaurant number 1, number 2, number 3. Farmers Insurance Agency, promotion to Farmers District Manager. What's the worst that could happen? I could be the worst at this, but I know I'm going to land somewhere, and it's going to guide me in a direction where someone is telling me what direction I need to go. That's the worst that could happen. I've gone through some serious shit in depression, but what's the worst that could happen? I've gone through a bunch of it already.
So I have one more question.
No, it's all good.
Do you gamble in Vegas? Like, are you a gambler? Do you gamble online?
Never.
That's so weird. I mean, not weird, but I think unique in the sense of, like, I mean, like, you're taking huge gambles.
Yeah, $1 million gambles.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And, like, but you're like, nah, I ain't gonna
I'm
get,
betting on myself.
Yeah, is that the difference?
I'm betting on myself. I know that if I put in the required activity, I'm going to learn the lesson that needs to be learned to take the next step. If I throw a pair of dice on the table, whatever, I don't even know how to play blackjack. If, like, that's luck of the draw. Like, I know my life isn't luck of the draw. I'm going to win.
Have you always known that?
No.
You had to like kind of learn it.
I've learned it for the last 20 years. Like, you can't do this. Oh, shit. Wow, I guess I can. You can't do that. Wow, I guess I can. You can't do this. Man, I guess I can do that over and over and over. And I've never known, but until time elapses, like, and I could do that.
Do you know what, like, tell me if you feel like this is true. I feel like that sometimes when someone tells you that you can't do something, it's because they have set a roof on their expectations. And so, like, you know, my expectations are a lot more easy and open. And so when I go, okay, I think I want to try this, and someone goes, oh, you can't do that. My thought is always like, well, like, if I do and it just fails, then, like, who cares? I didn't lose anything. At least I tried to execute it.
Yeah.
And what if I come up with something really cool? What if, like, nobody does shit until somebody's done it.
Exactly.
It sounds so stupid, but, like, you know, like the undone, I mean, like, someone has to do it first. And so why not try, especially if you don't get hurt and nobody else around you gets hurt? You know what I mean?
We're all creators. I don't know how religious anybody is, but we're created in God's image and likeness.
And somebody's.
We're creators. Just because Tesla didn't exist, it has now been created. Just because this house didn't exist, it has now been created. It's up to me to create who it is that I'm supposed to be. I'm a creator. So just because I try very hard to ask a lot of questions, I love your questions. I ask a lot of questions for everyone around me. I'm not going to say, bro, you can't do that, because I know early on when I was a fat kid with the afro, like, you can't do that. I remember sitting in the dugout in Little League, not being put in because I was told I couldn't hit the ball. I was told I couldn't do something. Like, no. Like, what can you do? What do you think the outcome's going to be? Why do you want to do that? If you want to do it, who am I to say that you can't? So if someone says I can't, okay, I think I can't. I'm going to try. It's interesting enough for me to try to buy $1 million building. So I'm gonna.
I think, you know, in a basketball reference, if anyone knows who Muggsy Bogues is, he was a really short player in the NBA.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure along the way, everybody told him he wasn't going to play basketball in the NBA. But somebody had to do it.
Yeah.
And that guy did. And so, like, your life doesn't have to be Muggsy Bogues, but, like, you could get those wins in your life by just kind of trying to stretch yourself to do the things that maybe think people, I mean, like what I'm doing here. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, I mean, like, I kind of don't know what I'm doing.
That's
I'm just
the
doing
fun part.
But that's the fun part. The fun part is, like, been figuring all this stuff out.
Take a little leap of faith. I feel my wings spreading. Take another little leap. Man, that feels good.
Well,
wow. When people don't do it, like, oh my God, he's amazing. Oh, he's just lucky. Bullshit.
But can I ask, in that moment, and, like, hear me all the way out, like, it's a very selfish thing. You're doing something for yourself in like, you're spreading your wings, doing something that doesn't really hurt you or hurt anybody else. And so then that way, like, it just feels very freeing. Like, doing this doesn't hurt anybody other than taking time away from my girlfriend and my daughter, right? That's the only thing that really hurts. And, like, we have an understanding, and I try to make up for that as much as I can, right? But, like, this is very freeing. It does feel like spreading my wings. And, like, it's for me, it's my art. This is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, like, you have to, like, take into consideration what you're doing, whatever it is for, because at the end of the day, if you're doing it for somebody else, but you have to put your name on it, then, like, you have to take responsibility for it or whatever it is,
Yeah, I've got my beautiful wife, my beautiful babies. That's who I'm doing it for. And my wife trusts me. My wife supports me. Like, this is what we've gone. Opening businesses. I tell everyone my story of, like, my wife getting declined at the gas pump with the baby in the car. Us.
How'd that make you feel?
Shitty.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah.
We're not there anymore.
Yeah.
Like, it feels good. And,
Can I just really quickly? Mm-hmm. I feel like everybody I talk to that talks about the beginning of having kids, where they have, like, 1 or 3 or whatever, they all tell a very similar story. And I think all it is that parents have to get adjusted to the new income that they need.
Yeah.
Like, you don't understand that, like, there's just money just, like, falling out of your pocket for diapers and all this kind of stuff. And you have to take a moment to adjust. So everybody has those stories of, like, oh man, like, but, like, as kids, I don't remember any of that stuff.
No,
like, you know what I mean?
Made it feel easy.
Safe.
Like, we're having fun, we're having cereal, we're watching cartoons. Dude, I loved it.
Right.
My parents took care of me.
I mean, if you grew up in a really good supportive home, you know what I mean? But, like, I don't know if my parents were all that well off when I was born, but I never knew.
Never knew it.
You know what I mean? And I hear that from, like, a lot of people.
Yeah, no, God, I don't want to tell my daughters the stories when they were babies. I don't want to do it.
But, I mean, obviously they shouldn't know now, and obviously it should never be like, when you were little, I had to take care of you. But it was one of those things, like, to show them that, like, struggle is normal, and that, that sometimes, like, for you, like, I'm not telling you to make us feel guilty, but, like, I have to sacrifice for you because that's my job as your dad. You know what I mean? And that, in this weird way, it's very rewarding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To go, like, I'm going to do everything for this person that is so important to me, including, like, lie to them about, like, stories about gas station. Like, but I would argue that, like, your kids will appreciate and love you more if, like, you're just very authentic about it, just honest, and in due time, obviously. Don't tell you're too old right now that
where I got declined, or my wife got declined at the gas station. That's the same thing as my daughter falling off the bike.
Right.
It's time to get up.
Right.
Are you okay?
Right.
Get up.
Right.
Let's have another failure.
It's not what happened. It's what you do after.
What you do afterward.
Yeah.
You okay? I'm good. Okay, get up.
Yeah.
It's time to get up.
Yeah.
What's the secret to success? If you ask my daughters, what's the secret to success? Keep on practicing. Get back up.
That's awesome, man. Does it feel cool to raise, like, really strong girls?
I love it.
It's a cool feeling.
It's a cool feeling, man.
For me, it is.
Love them with all my heart. There's nothing I'd rather be doing. My God has blessed me abundantly. I love those little beings in all their personalities. My wife, my job, my career. I get to teach college, high school, straight A's, whatever. Like, what do you want to do? What are you going to be the best at? What do you want? Like, I didn't get on the starting team of volleyball. Good. Did you practice? No. Good.
Right.
Practice. That's the secret. If you want something, you have to take the action to get it.
Well, the unfortunate part of life is everybody's going to start at a different point.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But that doesn't mean that not everybody can finish.
I love it. I love it.
But so like you can't like, you have to go, this is my starting point. This is where I'm starting. This is what I have to do to finish. I can't worry about person A or person B and where they're starting and where they're finished, because it's your life.
Yeah.
It's not their life. And I think once you kind of grasp that concept, and it's not like a rude thing, it's just like, well, like this is mine. Like, so I have to make the most of it. And I can't worry about what other people get to do, because none of that helps me get to where I need to be.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And it's very, very important. Like, and it's a dance of like your ego and being selfish and like all the things that you do, but you got to like kind of try to figure it out, because you want to be a good human to the people that are important to you and everybody you meet.
I offend people every day. Is like, so it's kind of what you have to get through. You have to get through shit if you want to accomplish anything.
Right.
Like, what are you going to do about it? That's what, like, I don't mean to be rude. What are you going to do about it?
Right.
What are you going to do next? That's all it is.
I understand being hurt, but understand that like getting hurt and then like not developing or thinking or trying to learn from that and make a plan going forward so that you don't get hurt again is just like the definition of insanity. You know what I mean? And that is a life I don't want to have, but like you have to choose that.
Yeah.
Like you choose that.
Yeah.
And I love talking to people and they'll go, I need to do blank, but I can't do that. And I'm like, you can, like you can, whatever that statement was, you can do that.
Yeah.
It just comes with its own level of consequences and things, and you have to weigh out which one you're comfortable with. So anything that you want to do, you can do it, but you just have to be comfortable with the consequences of the actions. Not that they have to be negative. They could be positive consequences or repercussions, or that's not even the right good, just results, right? But like, again, you have to be cool with all of it. It's your life. You know what I mean? So I make decisions that I'm cool with. I mean, that's
all this is.
Yep.
I gotta listen to my gut. I gotta listen to my intuition. I have to make decisions, whether I like them or not. I've got to deal with the repercussions, with the consequences, with the reaction for every, what did I hear? Event, reaction, opportunity. What's my reaction?
Right.
That's what creates the opportunity.
Well, I mean, yes. I mean, it's how you respond.
Yeah.
Life is a lot of like how you respond, right? And what you put out there. You've said that already, Well, was this fun? You have a good time?
Dude,
did you have expectations before?
I was like, after I came to Austin yesterday and had a very full day, have a very full couple of weeks, like, shit, man, I'm not going to have anything to talk about. Oh my God, I kind of have a headache. No, it'll be fun. Gassner's cool. It's all right. That was my expectation. Just like, what am I going to talk about? This beyond what my expectations were. I've had a blast.
Awesome, dude. I'm so glad. Hope my pledge didn't cause any problems.
No. I had such a good time. Maybe I like talking about myself too much and I'm emotional, but whatever.
No, I mean, I'm asking you about yourself. This is your free opportunity to talk about yourself because I'm asking, you know what I mean? So I think, everybody sees me every time this comes out. They've never met you before, so we got to learn about you. Everybody knows my bullshit. So anyways, well, man, I make everybody give me a hug. You can push that mic out.
Oh, perfect.
My dude.
Thank you.
Thank you, dude.
Yes.
I really appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely.